Labels Festival. We warmly welcome you to the next event, the Roso Rap Sessions. Roso Rap organise sessions where both beginners and advanced artists are welcome. The goal of the sessions are to bring artists together online worldwide. During the sessions, each participant writes and records a maximum of 8 bars of their song and record their verses with their own equipment. Recordings can be done with a mobile phone or with a computer and microphone. The sessions are in English, but artists can write their verses in the language of their choice. To discuss this further in a Zoom event, Aleksi Lemola is ready for your involvement. Please go to the No Walls, No Labels website and click on the Zoom.
Here we go. Thank you so much, Daniel, for that introduction, and welcome Aleksi and Michael and Cindy. Hello, Aleksi. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
All right, let's go straight to the business, in the rap business. Aleksi, can you tell us more about your work?
Okay, so where do I begin? Okay, first of all, let me just say I'm completely not a natural type of speaker in these types of situations. But let's see. Then again, like I'm happy if I'm gonna go for the bottom line of the presentations that we have.
Just fine.
Yes, thank you. You haven't seen it all, but anyway, let's continue. Anyway, yes, my name is Aleksi Lemola. I'm a beat maker, hip hop DJ, producer, and I'm working for Kukunori, which you might be familiar by now, and I'm working in the Roso Productions project over there, and we are basically a combination of web media, a discussion forum. We have a web magazine that we just started releasing a while ago. We have discussions on Discord, and I think our agenda basically is to just help people create art. And let's see now. And also, I'll just say to Markus, if there's nothing to grasp from from my speech, you can just ask me anything at any point, and I'm happy to answer that way. And that goes to everybody else in the Zoom meeting over here. But basically what I'm here to talk about is the worldwide rap sessions project we've been having for this past a little bit over a month, and our agenda is to create a worldwide posse track consisting of MCs from all over the world. And I've been doing the same kind of work in Finland for 7-8 years. And sorry, a little bit. Okay, so anyway, yes, starting with the yes. Yep. So yeah.
So Aleksi, tell us more about what kind of tool is rap music to express yourself. What's the best combination of doing rap and expression?
I think the amazing thing about rap music as a tool of expression is first of all, the individuality, because everybody's speaking with their own voice. And even when you're not speaking with your own voice, I mean, even when you're not, let's say, even when you're not the person you are talking about, you're still incorporating the I, like I form. I went there, I went, and so forth. And that's the one amazing thing. And the other part is, this is kind of a aesthetic thing for me, but I'm not that keen on just skills, to put like that. I think the most important thing is that people get their voices out. So in that sense, yes, rap music is amazing tool for that. And
what do you think? What are the main themes in rap sessions that you do with young adults?
Yes, the main theme would be. I'm not sure there is one actually.
Okay.
Because that's the fun part. Whatever you put on as the subject, people will express their own views about it. And with this worldwide project, we decided on a subject that was breaking barriers. And the way we got into that subject, we because I've been doing the workshops live in live situations, but this workshop we're doing completely online. So we've been having this kind of video discussions, and just the first part of seeing everybody from all around the world, which is the same feeling we are having over here in this festival, and that was pretty amazing, just to see the different MCs from these different places and everybody expressing how they started in hip hop, what they like about hip hop, and the main theme that we started from was unity, and when we were deciding on the subject meaning the title of the song, we wanted to give a leeway for everybody, so it's not so tight that it kind of ties every writer to the same locker, but rather to give space for every writer to express, to even have different kinds of angles to it. So and somebody just said like we are breaking barriers in this session, and I think that was just a great title for that, because when we think about unity and communication, there's a whole lot of barriers, especially in an international setting. For example, nations. One barrier is technology, also languages, and when we try to get closer to each other, that's what we're doing, basically, breaking these different barriers.
That sounds very interesting, Aleksi. What do you think? Is it easy to make rhymes? How can you teach someone to make rhymes? What's the method? What's the secret?
There's a fun part, because I'm not really a writer myself, but I've been being around rappers for so much. I've been doing workshops for so long that I can teach people how to rhyme, and of course, like I can write myself also. But I think like one fun starter is just to start from the rhyme. Don't really think about if it makes sense or not. Let's start from having a cat and a hat. Then what happens to the cat between the cat and the hat? That's the mystery over there. That's what tells about you also. Like even there's no right or wrong way to do it. And even rhyming is, I usually think about it, the more it rhymes, the more it kind of dictates where the song is going. I mean, where the lyrics are going. Of course, the artist to have a nice combination of both, which is saying whatever you want to say, but having it rhyme at the same time without it taking the lead. In that sense.
That's very interesting. I have to think about what happens between the cat and the hat. What do you think is the typical situation that happens in the between?
We haven't been doing that much. I mean, I haven't been doing that much work in English, but in Finnish it's usually Jussi and Bussi, and which is Jussi is a name, Bussi is bus, and Jussi usually goes to the bus.
Okay.
Then something happens in the bus. So I don't know. Maybe he goes in the back row.
Yeah.
Draw something that does a tag in the benches or whatever, and that's where we get to expressing our own views, and own perspectives, and I think that's the main point. Also, I kind of want to say in the meanwhile, when we talk about rap and hip hop culture, it's a culture that's started in USA, in New York, and even with the birth of hip hop, there's traces to Jamaica and a whole lot of cultures before that. So when I'm talking about rap or hip hop, I can't be the way I view it. I can't be speaking for the whole culture. I can only speak for myself and what I've learned doing all these things.
Sounds very good. So what do you think? What do you think rap music, the narrative and the story, does it include something else than yourself? Does the aspects and themes go to environments or social change or some kind of maybe some political or ideological aspects on the raps that you're making?
Yeah, I think I guess it kind of comes down to, of course, like what your background is, but at the same time, I guess it all ties to the background. When we talk about how close these things are to you, if these are the types of themes you tend to dwell upon and think about a lot, of course I think that of course goes to your writing as well. But how I think about it is, I think that's kind of a whack perspective to it. If you have to write about something, even if it's not close to you, because that's where the authenticity part is just going for your own knowledge and your own experience. And when I'm talking about knowledge and experience, even with experience, I'm not saying that everyone has to leave their whole history and their history on paper, but I think like whatever you talk about and how you talk about it, that it's all influenced by your life before that. And I think that's been a fun kind of when we talk about gangster rap, for example, when we have themes of like guns and drugs and these sorts of things. Some rappers tend to be criticized a little bit for like not being a true gangster in that sense. But what I always think about is if you haven't seen anything, you can't really imagine anything either, because that's where the details are in whatever kind of life. If I was to rap about music production, I would need to know about hertzes and bits and cable lengths and so on.
Okay, so Michael is from Stringbear Laboratory from LA. Welcome, Michael. Michael is from the base where the origins of rap music is coming from. Well, where the other side of the United States, other side of the United States. But would you like to ask something from Alex?
I got a question.
Sorry, just a thing. Michael is not where rap music came from. Rap music came from New York City.
That's right.
That's exactly.
But I have a question because a lot of our shows, we work with all these communities, and a lot of our shows, what we find is that a lot of people have easier time expressing themselves through rap than through what they're actually speaking, to actually speak. And I was just wondering if that's a certain what you found as well. And then also, I just want to invite anybody watching who's a rapper, please join in this conversation, zoom in, because I think Aleksi, what he's trying to build is a whole international rap movement. So please join in on the Zoom. But that was my question to you, Aleksi. Like, what has it been the biggest thing that you've learned kind of, doing the rap sessions and then, and stuff like that?
What has been the biggest lesson for me? That was the question, right? I think that the main thing is when you hear so many people writing. I mean, when you give a common topic and everybody gives their views, the main thing is you never know what the people have went through, and you never know what they've seen. Like you have, because when people come by, you have your own assumptions on them based on whatever they look like, or even like how tall or small they are. But when the writing starts, you kind of never know, and that's been the biggest giveaway for me, I think. But also in terms of this, the other thing is, I think why it's so fun doing this thing internationally is because the aesthetics are very similar. Because we all kind of, if I'm talking in behalf of people who have gotten into this culture, we all kind of got into it by fat beats and fat drums, bass, and people having not just not just something to say, but having a punctuation to it. It always feels different when there's a true intention. Yeah.
That sounds very good. Pia, do you have a question for Aleksi also?
Did you see me inhale?
Yes, I did. I felt it. You just inhaled in that moment.
Yeah. No, I just came in late and I have to go soon because it's sauna water. But you Finns understand. But the question that I had, and maybe you've talked about it already, but what influenced you more? Were you more Eastern or Western influenced, or on which side were you on at the time?
I think with Eastern and Western, I think we're talking about like California and New York, not for example, like Eastern and Western music would be kind of a different good question.
No,
maybe.
I mean the hip hop.
I kind of both, actually, because I think the main difference is that in the West Coast, the sounds have tended to be a little bit more. What would be the adjective? Like organic isn't it? But they have been more played and produced, whereas in New York it was always more sample based. Because nowadays it's of course different because all the styles have been colliding for the past 20 years and so, and I think even can just go to like I think that's a funny position for me to be kind of an ambassador who is also an importer at the same time.
Well, you're wearing an LA cap, so
yeah.
Is that anything to go by?
But those are my initials also. That's a big reason for picking this one up.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Rap as a concept, and this festival is all about bringing people together. What do you see that rap music has to give as a tool for bringing people together? Other than battles.
Yeah, other than battles. Yeah, once again, I think I would just like to point out the thing of punctuation and like saying something that really feels like in the heart or in the chest or wherever. I mean, in the battle format, that you're going for the big punches, but because that's where the fun is for hip hop, and it can be emotional or it can be bravado or it can be funny or whatever. But I don't think like there's. I mean, this is just my own aesthetics, but I don't think there's good rap in a place where there's there's not really no one's really saying anything of. I wouldn't even say of importance in that sense, but even when there's no one saying anything that means something.
But what comes to my mind now is, isn't it? I think it's quite interesting that, you know, when you think of the rappers at the time in the beginning, they were talking about all this police violence, and you know, it's still so acute. I mean, you know, nothing has changed really. So, is that what you mean? Like having to say something? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, and also like maybe I just want to like break the stereotype that everybody has to try to say something, because that doesn't really go anywhere. That's like that tastes like water, you know. But I think that's a pretty clear sign of the weight of the culture is like how much there are lyrics and songs about police brutality before it was in the news, before everybody was talking about it. You can get tons of records. So yeah, and I think like I'm looking from a Finnish perspective, and I can see a whole lot of that in Finland also. There's so much stuff that you can find from Finnish rap lyrics, but you can find it from anywhere. And when you see it in the news, everybody's surprised except us.
We are co-workers with Aleksi, so I would like to ask, what kind of changes do you see? We are working a lot with mental health, people with mental health issues, young adults maybe, and for depression and bipolar diseases. What kind of change do you see in these people that when they're getting their when they can participate on this kind of action? What kind of changes do you see in these people when they have possibility to express themselves with rap music?
I think I would like to describe some kind of a victory story over here, but I think the main thing is just kind of just seeing people's postures grow up a little bit, and then them taking a little bit more space in the room also. Of course, like if you know it from like when we started, it definitely is not an instant bravado maker. If I've been into if I've been doing I've been into hip hop music for kind of 20 years almost now, and but we all have our own personalities, of course. But I think that's the main thing, and getting people being comfortable saying whatever they want to say. That's one main thing also.
I think you're doing a tremendously very important job. I think that's in the essence of doing. Thank you so much, Aleksi. We have a couple of minutes left, and Pia has to go to the sauna, which is very important too.
Definitely.
So Michael, can you tell us something? What happens next?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody stay tuned. We're having Pale F. It's a performing arts company in Los Angeles, going to show their work. They work with kids in Los Angeles using theater. And then after that, we've got a really, hopefully, Aleksi, you can join us. It's the Daniel Initiative talking about artists and activism. We have a huge panel. You can talk about how as artists, we can, hopefully change the world for the better. So please stay with us and like us, go to our website and www.nolabelsnowalls.net Facebook page, and join Aleksi and rap with him in the future. Thank you so much. Thanks, Marcus. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. And let me also mention, like, we are still going on with the worldwide posse track, and I can give you the website.
Yes.
I mean, you can get in tune from our Instagram also, which is Roso Insta.
And Aleksi, post it on our Facebook.
Yeah, and you can write it also to our chat over here, so people can find it.
Yes.
Very good. So we're going for the next one. It's Palef coming up, and thank you so much, Aleksi, for staying with us this moment and talk about this important work that you're doing.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Charles, it just came up, but
Hey, how y'all doing? Good.
Fine,
good,
Charles.
Good.
Just
Hi, how you doing, man?
Doing just fine, man. Yeah, we're just going for the next program right now, so stay tuned.
Okay, what's your name?
Markus. I'm from Finland.
Markus. Hello, Markus. Charles, of course, it's my first meeting like this.
Oh, it's great that you're here.
I'm new to this, Markus.
Ah, you're welcome, Charles. You're very welcome here. Yeah. Yeah, there's no labels and no walls in here, so you're in the right place.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very good. So we are going to see the Palef show next, funkified Shakespearean musical comedy trilogy by Palef. So let's stay tuned. Okay, see you.